Welcome to WASA Distance Education. This is MBF3C Grade 11 College Prep Math. I'm Grade 11 College Prep Math. I'm Pete and I'm your teacher. Welcome to week 8 of 9 of our Grade 11 math class. This is going to be an interesting week. I'm traveling tomorrow and Wednesday, so you'll get the pre-recorded versions of our class. Should be perfectly fine. I think everything's going to fit together quite nicely. Then when I come back on Thursday, I'm going to start the review. Now, it seems that we might be starting the review early, but next Monday is a holiday for us. So actually it's a short week, a week 9. So you'll get 4 days of review, which is what I like to actually have. Now, if there's anything in particular you want to see on that review, any place where you had some difficulty, or do you want to see some more examples, or even a key question, certainly let me know, and I'll put them in that review. It's for you, okay? Your review. So what we're gonna do today, I'm gonna pick up where I left off last Thursday, which is on data distributions. I started trying to explain skewness, and I really felt that I needed a little more of a visual a component to it, something a little that makes it a little clearer. So I got that for you today. So we'll go through that. Then I'm going to step back into lesson 17, where we were doing standard deviation, variance, doing all those calculations, and I want to show you how to do all those things in Microsoft Excel, how to make a graph, a bar graph, and things like that from some data. I think it'll be helpful for you just to see how it's done, and hopefully I'll make it look easy, and then you can just practice with Excel and learn how to do that, because that's a skill that employers just absolutely are looking for, is that people that know how to do stuff like that. Okay, that'll get you the job over someone that doesn't know how to do it. So, but first we're going to just take a look at lesson 18, page 16. I think is where we were, and that's not page 16. No, well, we're getting there anyway. All right. So that's not page 16 either. Oh, that's probability. Overshot a little bit here. So what we were looking at was, here we go, going back we were looking at the different types of distributions. And the bimodal distribution, that's fine. That's where you have two modes in the data. Remember that the mode is the most frequent data. Now, remember that these graphs that they're showing you now, they're showing them as kind of line plots, but they can be bar charts too. It's some measurement along the x-axis, but it's a frequency, so it's the number of times that data appears. So it's not the actual data, it's the frequency. Okay, so in this case we are measuring two items, right? And this one measurement on the left shows up quite a bit, and then this other measurement also shows up. So maybe one item's 1 ounce, and then the other item's 2 ounces. Well, that would be a pretty big range, but that's right. And then on either side of that, there's a bunch of stuff, a bunch of measurements as well, right? So another common up at the top of the peak, common weights will be organized around that one specific weight that shows up the most often. In this case, it's mass. It could be marks, right? It could like test scores. So and we probably wouldn't have individual test scores. They would be in categories, from 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, so on. And then that would give us our frequency, right? We just find out how many 80 to 90s there are, how many 70s to 80s there are, right? So that gives us an idea. Now, I did say last week that seeing something like that, especially when it's something to do with mass, depending on what it is, if it's a manufacturing process, might mean that something's wrong. One machine, maybe 2 machines are making, or maybe 3 or 4 machines are making these things, but one machine's doing it. Is this miscalibrated? But if it's something like maybe they're sorting particles or something like that, and some sort of scientific experiment, that might actually be a valid measurement, because then you're going to see, two different distributions of particle sizes, something like that. So there's lots of reasons, and it's, you go into the position knowing a little bit about statistics enough that when they tell you, we're looking for a bimodal distribution, then you'll know what that means, and then they will explain to you how to interpret that in your job. That's part of your training. Now, this is where I kind of get into a bit of trouble, because with the skewed left and skewed right distributions last week, I really didn't have a good visual to show how the skewness relates to the mean, the median, and the mode. So I fixed that, and let's just flip to the next page here. Now, I'm sorry, the picture's a little blurry. The same picture pretty much appears everywhere. So I don't know where the original is. So rather than trying to make a new one, I just came up with this. So here's what we have then. And I see that. Um, so for a normal distribution, this is your normal distribution right here. And okay, I'm gonna back out. I'm gonna do something real quick here. I'm just gonna lock. Okay. Thought I would lock it here. I just gotta lock this real quick. It's just a little technical thing that lock. There you go. It just prevents it from moving when I'm using the pen. So this is the normal distribution. There is no skew, so it's a bell curve. The mean, the median, and mode all tend to be right around that central peak, all around the same place. Give or take a couple of decimal places. They'll all be more or less right around the middle, right? And so that tells you that the data kind of is nice, and it's compact, and there's no, it's not spread out all over the place. Now the negative skew, remember that the negative skew means the tail is on the left. They say negative skew. We are going to call that the left skew, right? Okay, in our skewed left. And then positively skewed or skewed right skewed. Okay, just different terminology for it. But what you can see here very clearly, it's the mean, right? The mean is, it goes from mean, median, mode from left to right. Okay, so if the mean, which is the average, is off to the left, that means you got a left skew, assuming that the median and mode are on the right of the mean. Okay, and over here you can see the mean is here, which is on our right skew, and so then the mode falls on the left. So that kind of helps you figure out then what you have, right? And even though there's all these words down below, the fact is that if you're given a distribution and you have a mean, okay, and then you have a median, and then you have a mode, okay, that tells you that you've got a skewed right. Yeah, don't say skewed left. That tells you you have a skewed left distribution, right? Just because the mean is less than the median, which is less than the mode. And similarly, if you have a mean, a median, so it would be, it'd be mode, right, which is less than median, which is less than the mean, right? And that gives you your skewed right. Okay, so basically the mode will be your kind of your big peak there. Okay, and then this is going to be skewed right. Okay, so the tail tells you whether it's skewed left or right. Okay. Now they're using on this chart, they're using positive, negative. Just if you think about the x-axis, positive, negative, that's why they're calling it that. But for our purposes, it's going to be left and right skew. All right, so I hope I cleared that up, and if you want a copy of this, I'll be happy to give you one, or just let me know and I can post it on Facebook, on the Facebook page. Probably do that anyway. That, and just make sure that you're able to identify a skew or a normal distribution. So that's where we were on Thursday, and I think we're pretty well done lesson 18. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to back up a little bit to lesson 17 and take a look at using Excel to solve some of these. So for page 17, the support questions, you'll just be asked to come up. Oh, right. Other book here. So you'll be asked to come up with some whether things are skewed or not. So key question 18, create a histogram and given the data below. Remember to label and show the units for both axes and title the histogram. Okay, so that's the sort of thing that, you know, if I was using Excel, you know, this makes it pretty straightforward to use Excel on something like this. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to open the um, key question 18. I'm just going to open the actual Word version of this to get the data. Okay, unit 4. There it is. And I'll show you how to make a histogram using Excel. It's more interesting than just doing it on the board when I think you know how to make a bar chart. Okay. 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 I think we actually support questions. Graph the distribution of marks. Okay. I think maybe that's probably more better one to do. Okay. So we have all of these marks, and we're going to go into Excel, and I think we could. Whoops. Okay. I'm not really sure why we have the eraser there. Okay. So I'm going to put the marks here. And let's see if I can all right, let's see if I can pivot is what I want to do. Okay, data, text to columns. That's what I think I want to do. And comma. There we go. There's general. There we are. So I've converted the data to columns, and now there's going to be so it's just separated by they were separated by commas. And so now what I want to do is there's a way to pivot a table, and I don't know quite how to do it in this version, so because normally there's a button. Okay, so pivot data, I know it's called pivot, so that's the one. Okay, maybe not. So this is the thing about Excel. If you have a question about it, you can actually just press a little question mark here. In older versions, they had an actual help menu. So what I want to say is rows to columns. There we go. So I want to be able to transfer. There's some button that you just press to turn it from rows to columns. Really, should be. Oh. I'm not quite sure what's happened here. It seems it's like quit or something. There we go. Rows to columns. Okay. There we go. Change. No. Switch rows and columns. That's what we want to do. Transpose. Rearrange the data on the home clipboard. C. On the home tab, transpose. That's what we're looking for. Okay. So, so basically, we had this row of data. Oop, and I'm just using Shift click to extend it. And now, so I'm gonna cut it. And now home, paste. And I'm supposed to be able to transpose it. Options. Okay, seriously. Wrap text. Options. Paste. Paste special. All right, well, let's go back and see that what they had to say, because clearly, what we okay, transpose, yeah. Okay, switch rows and columns. Yeah, this is the same one we did. Click copy, Control C. Oh, copy, not cut. Okay, well, maybe that's, let's try that again then. I think I actually cut the data, so it shows you. I gotta read. Okay, so Control C. There we go. And now we're going to paste that and paste special. No, that's not it. All right, let's see what it says. So we did the copy. Oh, and they can't overlap. Okay. So that's what it is. So now I've clicked a different spot, and okay, that didn't work. Okay, let's try it one more time. This should be a lot easier than it is. As far as I remember, there was a um, oh wait, no, that's not what I wanted. Ah, there we go. Okay, so copy, no borders, there it is, transpose, that's what we were looking for. So, all right, and then number, font. Okay, okay, and then everything should be just Arial 12. Library 12, okay. So now that we've done that, so delete. So what I did was I copied it and I pasted it. I used the one of the data commands here to put it into columns based on comma being delimited or separated by commas. So we did that, and where I struggled a little bit was finding the right recipe here to go from a series of columns into one column. right? So stacked up like that, because that's the easiest way when you're making a chart like that. So now that we have that, um, so now we're going to say that scores. And now what I can do is I can select this whole thing and I can go to insert and we'll do a column chart. I'm going to call it a column chart. And that should be a pretty good column chart right there. Um, and that's about all you really need. You can do some perspective things there, but that kind of helps you to understand um, what the data looks like. And this is not really a very clear frequency chart, is it? It's kind of a little bit. Okay, I'm not sure why there's a bunch of ones there. Okay, let's see. Um, yeah, so for example, there should be one, two, three, four, five tens. Okay, I think that this is, I think we may actually need something a little different. Home, insert, okay, let's try this again. Anyway, the thing about Excel is you can experiment and try different things, right? Um, let's go back and see what they actually say about the data. Um, so these are marks out of 10. Okay. Oh, okay. You know what? This is not. Okay, now I understand. This is actually not a frequency chart. This is just marks. So that's it. So if we wanted to make a frequency chart, we would really have to um, sort this. And the way you sort it, you select all the data, and then you go over to the and home tab, and you do sort. And smallest to largest, usually good. Okay, now I'm a little puzzled here. Shouldn't that be down below? I'm wondering if that's not considered a number. There we go. Okay. For some reason that was a little dodgy. That sorting to smallest to largest. Okay, so now we've got it. So if I wanted to do frequency, then we could do it. Let's see. Okay, so make a frequency chart. So now what we have is so 3 appears once, 4 appears once, 5 appears twice, and now we're going to kind of get out of sync. 6 appears twice, 7 appears. Well, actually, let's just do it here. Insert. Let's go. Okay, so 3, that's 4, that's 5, that's 6, that's 7. Here's a nice thing about Excel. Um, and I think I might have shown you this before. If you're making a list of numbers, you can extend it just like that. We could have just done the first two. So 7 appears 3 times. 8 appears 1, 2, 3, 4 times. One, two, yeah, four times. 9 appears quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. So you see, it is fairly straightforward once you sort it. And then that 10 appears 5 times. Now we can make a score versus frequency chart. Go to insert, column, and I think that's the one we're looking for. No, that's not what we're looking for. All right. Column. Cone. Bar. It's not it. Okay. I think maybe we don't. Delete. Okay, you just delete it if you don't like it. Okay, well let's just try this frequency column. Should be pretty straightforward. There we go. There's your distribution. Okay, so the only thing would be that the score, these categories here, um, it aren't correct, and we um, the way we get the labels, okay, horizontal axis labels. So we're going to edit that, and we're going to go and pick up those labels right here. Okay, and there you go. So now it's correct. Okay, and then instead of frequency, we could say could just change the title, distribution of math cores. Okay. Um, and I just noticed that this didn't do what I had intended it to do. Select data. So horizontal category axis labels. Edit. And then we selected them. Hit enter. Yeah, so there they are. I don't know why they just changed because I thought they were right. So there we go. And then the other one is this. Yeah, so 3, 4, 5. So these are scores, and this is the frequency of the score. So now we can see it's very, very clear. What we have is a left skewed distribution, right? And that's what we're looking for right there. So now one of the other things that we can do, I think we can actually add a trend line to this, but I'm not. Let's see. Format chart area. No. Okay, there is a way to add a trend line. I'm just not sure how to do it. Format chart area. Select data. No. Okay, but if I had a question, I could just go in and change chart type. No, that's not it. Okay. And then you can make it a little bigger, make it a little smaller. So yeah, it's a lot of useful stuff you can do here. Okay. So, oops. So what is the Excel is the sort of thing that it's well worth learning. You can certainly spend some time at it. Just messing around like this is probably not the most efficient way to learn something. I think an efficient way to learn something is if for Excel is you go to Microsoft Office and there's actually video training on there or just training, and so I think that's probably the best way to learn it. Let's see here. Courses. Just gonna save this and use it again. Okay, so okay, something like that. All right, now the next thing that I said I was going to do is go and show you how to do some calculations. And this one I won't have to mess with it a little quite so much because I already have. Um, and I've already spent the time to work it out. And it just takes a few minutes, especially when you're just, when you're focused on that, trying to figure out what you need to do. So the data that I have then is from question, one of the support questions. And once you actually do it, then, um, yeah, I think that's the one right there. 2, 3, okay. Okay, so we actually put it in order here, but let's really sure why I crossed that out. Okay. So there's the data that we had. And I can't really cut and paste it from here, so we'll just have to type it in. Okay, so it's 3627 358. All right, so what we do then, we'll go to a new sheet, and I like to leave a little border here just in case. And here's our data. So it's 3627 358. Okay, and this is just some data. We don't know what it is. Data. Now, if it's not a numeric value, you can format it just as if you were using a word processor. So down below here, we're gonna put the different things that we want to work out. We want the mean, okay. We want the median. We want the variance. We want the standard deviation. I have to abbreviate it, or I could just open this column up a little bit if I wanted to. And then the range. Okay, so these are things that we're going to do, and then over here I'm going to do the mode. That one's a little bit kind of little peculiar, the way the mode works out. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is the mean. Now, the thing about Excel is that if you just start typing numbers or text into the cell, it'll just assume it's numbers or text. But if you want a formula, then you really have to start with an equal sign. And it'll actually help you because if you're stuck on a formula, you say, well, I want the mean, so I'm going to hit M, you see, and it actually gives me some ideas about different possibilities here. But you'll notice that it gives us a median, so we could find that, but it doesn't have a mean. And the reason is that the mean is actually under the A's for average. Average. Now there's different averages, and if you click on it, it tells you a little bit about it, and then if you hit the help button, it'll actually give you some more information. But the one that we want is just average right here. So you just click on that. Okay, just gonna click on that, average, and that's the one we want. And now it's asking for a range. So what you do here is you go and you click and you drag all of your data, and then you just hit enter, and it actually gives you the average, okay, or the mean. Now maybe this is too many decimal places, so as a matter of fact, we're going to select a range of values, and we're going to right click, and we'll do format cells, and we want to format it for numbers, but let's just only have one decimal place. And we could always go back and change it, but I think this makes more sense to just have one decimal place. Okay. So for the next one, the median, then we'll hit the equal sign, we'll hit M, and now it actually does have a median right there. Okay, so there you go, median. So we just double click that, and again, we're just going to click and drag our data. Make sure you get all the data there. Okay, so the median is 5. Okay, and so now you actually can sort of see that the median is higher than the mean, but they're pretty close. So they may actually be right around the same. Might be a equal distribution, who knows? Now the variance, here's where things get just a little bit, um, there's different ways to calculate variance. So in our case, we want var S, which is the sample, right? So this is not an entire population, which would be P. This is a sample. So that's the variance that we're learning, and that's the one where you take the number, divide by the number of items, values, less 1. Okay, so, but we still have to make sure we click the whole thing, or double click it, or type it in, and then hit enter, and it automatically puts the here's what it looks like. It puts a closing parenthesis on it and gives us that range of C4 to C10. There's your 4, there's your 10, and we're in column C. So, and if you were to insert some data in there, it would automatically update those ranges for you, because it understands. Okay. Now the standard deviation, we just take the square root of the cell above, but we can, there is a standard deviation, and STS, okay, So just scroll down, and there's actually a bunch of standard deviations. And again, you'll know as you use this, we want the one for samples. There is a population one as well. Okay, and um, beyond the scope of the course to explain the difference, but you know, if you take more courses like this, then you'll see what the difference. Now, range is a little weird. They don't actually give you a simple formula to calculate range. At least not that I could find, but it's easy enough because the range is just the biggest value minus the smallest value, right? And there's very easy formulas for biggest and smallest, which is max, max. Now, to calculate the max, you still have to put the range in there. So what you're saying is, what is the biggest number from this range of data minus min, okay, and then we're going to select the same range of data. Okay, there you go, and it's 6. Okay, that's the range of data. So you'll see here then that in our case, the median and the mean are pretty close together, and the most frequent data is the mode. So the mode is off to the left of the mean and the median. So it does look like this is going to be skewed right, correct? Hard to tell without visualizing it. Now the one thing that I missed here, or I didn't miss it, but I skipped it, was the mode. The mode is a little strange. You have to enter a special formula because the mode can be more than one number. So you enter the normal thing, it's mode, and what you're looking for is mode mult. There's a couple of things, but what you really want is mode, and this is where it returns a vertical array. Oh, look at that. So, and it tells us how to make a horizontal array. So that's kind of cool. Mode.mult. Yeah, so let's try what they suggest. Transpose. Oops. Mode. And now we have to select the data. And now we know that this is a single mode. Yeah, there you go. This is a single mode thing. But what if instead of this being a 6, this was a 2? Let's see how that would change it. Didn't really change anything, did it? No, and that's where I think that you have to use the Control-Shift-Enter method. No, that didn't help either. Oh boy. Okay. I'm going to get rid of the transpose. I thought that would help solve our problem. And the problem we were having was that it really doesn't Control-Shift-Enter. Ah, yes. Okay. So now what I have to do basically is, um, you see how the mode is, it gives me that the list, because 2 is also mode, 3 is a mode. But unfortunately, now if I change that to a 3, it should just go back to one number. Yeah, I still don't quite understand what they're trying to tell us there. I mean, we know that it's the list. It is giving us a list. But how you know how much room to take up, I really don't know how to sort that out. Remember, this was a 6 as well. Now, notice here in the mean, the median, all that, every time I change a value, if I change that to 7, notice everything changes. Okay, and that's the beauty of this, right? If I added, say, if I added some more data, I could add some data and everything would change for us, right? So, and then of course the mode in this case, because now there's 3 threes, definitely a single mode. Okay. So that's the nice thing about this sort of using Excel for this sort of thing. Okay. Now, if you wanted to, I mean, I can send you this or something like that. The other nice thing about it is that once you have it set up and it's doing the calculations you want, maybe you'll test it out on some simple data. Maybe you'll test it out on 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 2, 3. Some simple set of data. Once you have it all worked out, then you can go in and you can use it. You just save it and reuse it and put your own data in there. So for example, we just solved this first question with this. But let's go back and take a look and see what else we can solve. So you'll see here that there's other, right, this question C, we could actually go in and solve question C if we wanted to. Now, the problem we're going to have here is that typing it in, because there's no easy way to cut and paste. So you know what? I'm gonna just try this. By the way, in case you're wondering how I do that, make the panes take up each half of the screen, it's the Windows key held down, and then it's the left and right arrows on your keyboard. I don't know if you're aware that you can do that. And if you just keep cycling it, it kind of flips. It'll put them back. All right, just a nice way to split your screen. So now that I have this, how many are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So we're going to need 17. So I got to insert a couple of times here. Okay. I just need 17 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, there's probably other ways to do that. So there's 75. And now I'm going to hit the down arrow instead of hitting enter. 43. And again, the down arrow. It just puts me to the next one. 57, 69, 43, 88, 94, 97, 51, 43, 45, 52, 51, 57, 82, 75, and 51. There we go. Okay, so now we have that data. It's given me the mode, and it looks like, is it 51? It looks like 43 and 51. I'm not really sure how to interpret that. But we have the mean, the median, the variance, which is pretty high, standard deviation, and the range. So all of that, we didn't have to enter any new information here. I'm just going to do a save as here. Book, okay, Q3, something like that. Oh, I see. It's completely, doesn't remember which one we were on. Okay. So let's take a look at the back of the lesson. So this is key question. This is not key question. This is support question. Which is it? Support question 3 for lesson 17, and see what they had to say about it. Okay. So support question 3. So C. Oh, they were just looking for the mode, not standard deviation or anything. So 40. So they're just two modes. Oh, well. So that didn't really help us much, did it? Okay, so lesson 17. Huh. The mode. Okay, standard deviation. So I guess if we wanted to do that and then have some data we could look at, we can clear these out now. As long as you're blank, that's fine. You don't have to delete any rows. You can if you want. So there's 23, there's 28, 32, 28, 32, 35, and 29. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there we are. And I'm gonna just sort of tidy it up. I'll delete some of these. There we are. And so now we can go and look at the answer to that one, which is 5B and 5B. So So our mean was 20. We got 29.6. They did it to 2 decimal places. And here's the beauty of this. All right, so you find out that you want 2 decimal places. Format cells, 2 decimal places. Okay, so 29.57, which is exactly what they got. And then the median, yeah, that was the mean. The median, they didn't actually calculate that. The variance, 14.95. And then the standard deviation, 3.87. They actually took standard deviation to 3 decimal places. But you see the point there, right? That it makes it very, very easy to work out these values. Now, here's the other thing you can do. Even though I had some problems with mode over here, and this calculation is not very satisfying. It is hard to know. Um, and in fact, I can see that there's different the frequency table. If I want the mode, remember how easy it is to take my data and I can just paste it over here, and then I can sort my data. Just select it all and sort and filter smallest to largest. Now it's sorted, okay? And so now I can make a data versus frequency table. And so 23, 20, yeah, I got 23, that occurs once. 28 occurs twice. 29 occurs once. 32 occurs twice, and 35 occurs once. And now the mode, you can actually see here modes, and it's pretty obvious that 29 and 32 are both modes. So I don't even necessarily need to use a complex Excel formula. I can just pick it up myself. And now the beauty of this is that now that I've selected this data here, I can go to insert, can insert a column chart, and I don't know why it keeps doing that. Okay, frequency, insert. It's the data, yeah, and so now I have to go and I have to format. There's probably a chart type that understands what I'm trying to do. But this is for frequency of the given data. So that's where I have to go, and what I want to do is format, select data, and it's the axis labels that I want to edit. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to actually select them, and then you hit enter. And so it's giving you a range now. You see, now it's giving me a range. So 28 occurs once exactly, sorry, 23. 28 occurs 3 times, and you see it over here. So this is a frequency. And now, I think it's pretty clear now that this is a skewed right distribution. Okay? It's obvious that it's skewed right from this, just from the shape of it. But if we'll look at the mean is 29. Okay. So the mean's right here, but the mode is higher than the mean. Well, there's actually 2 modes. Oh, I see. Okay. So this is bimodal, not really a skewed distribution. Wait, no, I got that wrong. There's just 1 mode. Sorry about that. 28. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So now the mode's here, and then the mean's over here somewhere, and then the median's over here. Exactly, well, pretty much what they say will happen. I think the mean and the median are kind of fighting for a spot over here. But with the mode off to the left, then we clearly have a skewed right distribution. Okay, so so yeah, so I encourage you to take some time, even whenever you have a few minutes to look at Excel. If you go to Microsoft Office online, if you actually go to Microsoft Office, not, or I think it's office.microsoft or something, um, and then search for training on their website, because if you just do it in Google, you'll get all sorts of training, but they want to sell you stuff. And Microsoft has some really good video training on their website to introduce you to Excel, and it'll tell you about the ribbon and all of this stuff. And it'll tell you what you can do. It'll probably show you better than I did about how to insert some make charts and things like that, and how to format the titles and things. So it is really useful to have. Now, as far as your assignment goes for this lesson 17, you're being asked to do um, means and variances and stuff like that. So if you wanted to use Excel for it, you're absolutely welcome to do that. For the final exam, you are going to have to know how to do this by hand, but you're certainly welcome for the assignment to hand in an Excel spreadsheet with your answers in it that way. All right. So that's gonna pretty well wrap things up. So tomorrow and Wednesday it'd be pre-recorded classes. Just it's the same, and we'll just continue lessons 19 and 20, fairly short lessons, and then we'll come back live on Thursday and start our review. And if there's any questions from tomorrow and Wednesday's class, then you can ask them there. All right. So nice to have